So I was using my table saw the other day. I was cutting up some beehive parts, and I shut the saw off to do some adjustments on my fence, and when I turned it back on, it just buzzed but didn't start up. And so this is what it sounds like. So you kind of don't want it to sit in that state for very long. So what I thought was happening was that the starter capacitor was bad. So on these single phase motors, what happens is there's the main winding and then there's a starter winding. And the main winding just has a magnetic field that pulses up and down. And the starter winding actually has a pulse that goes side to side, and that creates the rotation that will start the motor. And then it has a centrifugal switch that will take the starter winding out of circuit so that it's not in there all the time. And once the motor's running, it can run on a single phase just fine. So since the motor didn't start up, I figured it was a start capacitor. And this start capacitor is 340 microfarads. It's a 110 volt start capacitor. It was soldered on to the motor, so I desoldered it. It also had a resistor in parallel with the capacitor, and I checked the resistor value. It was 5.2 kilo ohms, just so I can remember this value. And then I ordered a new capacitor. The new capacitor is quite a bit smaller. So I think what I'm going to do, because this case is meant to fit around this size capacitor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some spacers that fit around this one so that when this clamps, it can clamp this one solid. Okay, and so because this capacitor was soldered in there, I didn't really like that idea in case I need to replace this capacitor again. So I actually hooked up blade connectors, and this capacitor had blade connectors in it. And so here's the resistor, and the resistor turns out to be important so that you don't burn the contacts on the centrifugal switch. And so I'm just going to connect this capacitor up, just so you know that it was in fact the starting capacitor. And so if I turn it on now, let's see, make sure I'm not going to touch anything. Okay. Alright, so you can hear it's kind of noisy when it starts up, and then you can hear it click and it gets less noisy. That's the centrifugal switch. And there it is re-engaging. Alright, so I'm mostly making this video so I can remember the details in case I need to replace this capacitor again. Anyway, this capacitor was 15 bucks. A new motor is hundreds of dollars. So, those are the details. This is a Timco capacitor, start capacitor. Hey, do you like these videos? Subscribe. I'll make more. Bye.